Welcome back to the deep dive. We always try to cut through the noise, give you those truly actionable insights. And today, we're plunging into a world that, well, a lot of us interact with, maybe without even thinking too much about it, the whole on-demand logistics thing. Specifically, we're really going to dissect the Goshare Driver app. The idea is to figure out what makes this platform, tick, not just for the pros driving and delivering, but also for you, the customer, needing stuff moved, big or small, like right now. GoShare, okay, so at its core, it's about same-day delivery and moving services. Think of it like this huge network, right? Powered by professionals who've been properly vetted. Their whole promise is pretty compelling: fast, reliable, affordable, and crucially on demand. So whether you're, say, a business needing a pallet shifted or just someone moving a couch, GoShare wants to be that solution. Nationwide, too.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've gone to the source material, but with a slightly different angle, our insights. They're drawn from this really comprehensive synthesized report from Cider AI. Now, for our listeners, Cider AI, it's basically this advanced platform. It aggregates, analyzes, and kind of distills huge amounts of data, user reviews, feature analyses, you name it, across lots of platforms. So what we're getting is this really concentrated, sort of holistic view of the GoShare experience, all filtered through a pretty powerful analytical engine.
Right. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Let's pull out the most important bits of knowledge from all this material. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a real shortcut to understanding the tricky dynamics of a pretty big player in the gig economy. You'll get not just what GoShare does, but how it works and maybe why their approach seems to stand out. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit more then. Go beyond the slogans. Imagine you're running a small business, right? And suddenly you urgently need to get a critical shipment across town, like today. Or maybe you just bought, I don't know, a new fridge and it just won't fit in your car. We've all been there. This is exactly where GoShare steps in. It's fundamentally that on-demand service, same-day delivery and moving, designed to solve those immediate, sometimes stressful logistical headaches for businesses, for individuals all across the country. It's about getting things where they need to go, when they need to be there. Often bigger, chunkier items than, say, your usual food delivery.
Yeah, and what's genuinely insightful here is how users interact with GoShare. It seems really seamless, which, I mean, for an on-demand service, that's critical, right? You're not stuck with just one way to book. You can use their website, goshare.co, or you can use their mobile app, available on, the App Store, Google Play, the usual suspects. And for customers, the app seems to really deliver. Features like real-time status updates, so you can literally track your delivery on the go, probably with GPS. Plus, you can talk directly with your driver. That level of transparency, that immediate connection, it's not just nice to have. It's actually pretty crucial for building trust, easing anxiety, especially when you're dealing with valuable stuff or things that need to be there on time.
Absolutely. And that smooth experience, it's not just on the customer side, is it? For those of you listening who might be thinking about driving in this space, it's worth pointing out the platform apparently has over 100,000 reviews across all platforms. That's a massive user base. It hints at a really significant operation, a ton of real-world interactions, gives us a really rich pool of data to understand the driver's angle, tells us this isn't some small niche thing. It's a pretty substantial ecosystem. Okay, here's where our deep dive really gets into the nuts and bolts. Let's shift focus now squarely onto the driver's perspective, starting with the good stuff, the positive aspects that keep popping up in our synthesized review. Because let's face it, for any gig platform to really work, the driver experience has got to be good.
Yeah.
If the drivers aren't happy or aren't supported, service quality eventually drops, and then customer satisfaction follows. It's inevitable.
Well, absolutely. And the app's user-friendliness for drivers, that's a theme that comes up again and again in the feedback. Almost celebrated, you could say. Drivers consistently report it's, intuitive, convenient, and remarkably reliable for just managing their deliveries day to day. It's not just about a clean screen either. Drivers often mention specific things like how it handles batching multiple drop-offs smartly, helps them optimize routes, be more efficient, or predictive route suggestions that, try to anticipate traffic or road closures. That kind of stuff directly means more jobs per hour, less hassle. That's a big deal in the gig world. It means drivers spend less time fighting the app and more time actually earning.
And payments. Always crucial for any gig worker. That can really make or break the whole experience. Our sources highlight that a lot of drivers really appreciate the quick and accurate payouts GoShare offers. That sounds almost too good to be true sometimes in the gig economy, where payment hassles are, pretty common. Does the report give any clues about how they manage that? Is it like instant transfers or just really reliable, say, weekly payments that just show up correctly? That fosters some real security.
That's a great question, and it hits on something vital for keeping drivers right, driver retention. The report suggests it's kind of a mix. Maybe not always instant payouts across the board, but the consistency and the transparency seem to be the key things. Drivers can see earnings adding up in real time, and the scheduled payouts are, yeah, notably reliable and accurate.
Yeah.
Which, is a definite contrast to some other platforms where drivers might be chasing money or dealing with weird deductions. So yeah, it builds a lot of confidence, a lot of loyalty among their drivers, positions GoShare as maybe a more financially stable bet for a lot of folks.
Okay, so beyond the tech and the money, a platform's only as good as its human support, right? What did the sources find there for the drivers?
Yeah, the support system for drivers seems quite solid. The customer service linked to the app is consistently described as responsive and helpful. They seem to address driver issues pretty promptly. And it's not just some generic helpline, apparently. Drivers mention having different ways to get help, like in-app messaging, phone support, even a decent FAQ section. It all adds up to getting problems sorted quickly, which kind of shows the platform gets it, Even with great tech, you need that human backup sometimes to sort out unexpected stuff, keep things running smoothly, stop small problems becoming big headaches for their drivers.
And functionally, the app really seems to empower the drivers quite a bit. Lets them accept local delivery, moving gigs, right from their phone. Gives them that control over their schedule. Plus, it offers real-time job tracking. Which isn't just for the customer, is it? Drivers can keep tabs on their current jobs, what's coming up next, helps them manage their time, plan routes better, maybe even juggle other work they might have.
Performance-wise, yeah, it really supports effective routing, good communication tools, just makes the whole delivery process smoother for everyone. Less wasted time, less wasted fuel. And what's more, the platform seems to take quality really seriously. They do background checks on all drivers. And get this, an average rating of around 4.8 stars is consistently reported. That's impressive. It's not just a good score, it feels like a testament to a level of professionalism, trustworthiness that you don't always see in the on-demand world. Makes you wonder, what's their secret sauce for keeping standards so high across, tens of thousands of interactions?
That 4.8 average, especially with over 100,000 reviews backing it up, that is genuinely remarkable. Does the research suggest what Goshare might be doing differently to encourage that level of professionalism? Or is it mostly just getting the right people in through that initial vetting?
It looks like it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
A multifaceted approach, really. The initial vetting, yeah, that's tough. Sets a high bar right from the start. But then beyond that, you got the platform's constant feedback loops, plus that responsive support we just talked about.
Yeah.
It kind of creates an environment where doing a good job is noticed and well supported. It also suggests maybe there's a driver community there that actually values professionalism. Because keeping that kind of rating, that takes consistent effort, customer service, being on time, handling items carefully. So that combination probably helps create this positive cycle, attracting and keeping drivers who are serious about quality.
But, every system, especially in this busy gig economy, it has its own dynamics, its realities. And yeah, often it's challenges for the people doing the work. It can't always be smooth sailing, right? Even with a great app and good support. What are some of those friction points that drivers report facing out there?
Right. And this raises a really important question for anyone thinking about joining. While it's mostly positive, our sources do show that some drivers mention the competitive side of actually getting the jobs. And it sounds like it's not just about being quick on the draw to claim a gig. It hints at a more strategic element in real time, like do you need to be in the right place at the right time? Do certain vehicle types have an edge in some areas? It's that kind of dynamic where gig platforms can either really work for people or, well, frustrate them. Unlike maybe some ride-sharing apps where you can have too many drivers just sitting idle, GoShare dealing with bigger items might naturally limit how many drivers are needed in one spot. But it could also mean the ones who are available have to be super quick, super strategic to get the work.
So, for someone wanting to drive, it's not just about showing up. It's almost like you have to play the game a bit strategically to make good money. That competition naturally means sometimes there are issues where just meeting the demand for jobs or beating others to it can be tough. Does the report say anything about how GoShare's algorithm or setup tries to, balance that supply and demand, keep things fair while still getting customer stuff moved?
It's always a tricky balancing act, isn't it? The report doesn't spell out the exact algorithm mechanics, no. But the outcome, what drivers experience, suggests that while, yeah, competition is real, the platform generally does okay at distributing jobs. The challenge probably comes at peak times, or in specific areas where maybe more drivers are clustered. So for drivers, it might mean there's a bit of a learning curve, figuring out when and where demand is highest and tweaking their approach. But despite these competitive spots, the overall feeling from the report is still pretty positive. Generally, the application performs well for what it's supposed to do, connect drivers with gigs efficiently. The hurdles seem to be more about those market dynamics you find in any on-demand model, rather than, like, fundamental problems with the app itself.
Okay, so we've really dug into the driver's journey quite a bit, looked at the app, the pay, the competition. But let's flip the coin now. What makes this platform work well for the customers, the people actually booking these services? Because at the end of the day, a delivery service is only as good as the value it brings to the people paying for it, right?
And what's really compelling here is that the customer feedback seems to largely echo the positive vibes from the drivers. It's quite consistent. Customers regularly say they're highly satisfied with the app. They really highlight how incredibly easy it is to hire drivers and set up deliveries. I mean, we've all been there, right? Trying to arrange moving something bulky, filling out endless forms, waiting on hold, it'd be a nightmare. What customers seem to emphasize here is how GoShare has kind of stripped away that friction, made it almost as simple as ordering a pizza, but, for a washing machine or a sofa. The whole process, from getting a quote right through to the final delivery, sounds really streamlined and transparent.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's not just the digital side, the app being easy. The human element really comes through too. Our sources show GoShare drivers get consistently praised for going like above and beyond in service quality. That's what customer reviews are saying, which suggests that tough vetting process, the focus on professionalism, it's really paying off. It's creating these really positive experiences where the driver isn't just dropping something off, they're acting like a true service pro. So, okay, if the app makes it easy for customers and the drivers are often praised for going above and beyond, does the report hint at any trade-offs? Like, does this high level of service maybe cost a bit more? Or has GoShare somehow cracked the code on delivering premium service, but still at a decent price point in the gig world?
That's a really sharp question. And the report implies GoShare is actually managing that balance pretty skillfully. I mean, usually convenience and quality do cost more, right? But GoShare's model, because it leverages this efficient network of independent drivers and optimizes all the logistics through the app, it seems to let them offer competitive pricing without necessarily cutting corners on service. Basically, the efficiency the drivers gain, that translates into better value for the customers too.
Yeah.
It really speaks to, well, effective platform design and just strong operational management. They seem to be pulling off both.
So what does this all boil down to then? For you listening, whether you're maybe thinking about driving for GoShare or perhaps using their service sometime, let's try and bring it all together. Summarize the key takeaways from this deep dive.
Okay. In essence, the synthesized summary from all our sources, it confirms the Goshare Driver app gets overwhelmingly positive reviews. It really does. And that's put down to its intuitive, user-friendly design, that really reliable and accurate payment system, which, as we said, is huge for gig workers, and having genuinely helpful support for the drivers. You put all that together, it makes it a really strong choice for local delivery pros looking for flexible work who value a platform that actually seems to back them up. And, well, for customers, it clearly translates into a streamlined, reliable, high-quality service experience. Sets a pretty high bar for on-demand logistics, actually.
That really does give us a comprehensive look at the GoShare app, doesn't it? We've seen it from the driver's viewpoint, managing gigs, payments, all that, right through to the customer side, easily booking deliveries and getting really great service. This deep dive hopefully has given you a more rounded, kind of nuanced picture of a key player in this whole on-demand logistics game, highlighting that tricky balance between, the tech, the people doing the work, and just the market realities.
Yeah, and that leads us to maybe one final thought, something provocative for you to chew on. Given GoShare's consistently high driver ratings and that clear emphasis they have on vetted professionals in what's still a really competitive gig market, how might the platform's commitment to quality control to responsive support, how might that shape what we all start expecting from similar on-demand services in the future? Is this going to become the new baseline? Will it push other platforms to invest more in their drivers in professionalism? Or maybe could chasing such high standards actually lead to different kinds of challenges, like scaling up or staying profitable? Definitely something to think about as these services keep evolving and, let's be honest, become even more woven into our daily lives.